check. Test, test, test. Sorry folks, just testing the sound out, trying to make sure I've actually got audio this time. Okay, so in checking I did not do my due diligence yesterday, checking to make sure that audio was working on my first stream that I did. And I went back and realized that I'd done a almost 2.5 hour stream yesterday, and there was no voice the whole time. And I'm telling you, I gave lots of good advice during the course of my stream, so it was all super important, good to know information. Absolutely. But anyway, thanks for stopping in. So what I had done yesterday was trying to get my Starry Palms done on Nez Perce. I have one area left to open up that I haven't gotten opened up. I really enjoy Aurora Shores. I want to go back there, but I also I do enjoy Nez Perce as well. So my hope is that I can actually have another chance here at... Oh yeah, this is where I finished off. If I remember right. There was 2 cows and a young bull up here. And what I wanted to do today was go back, go take a nap. What time is it? It's 11:42. You have time to do something else? Oh look, there's something up there I haven't discovered yet. We'll go spend some time, go open this up. And then, so what I had been explaining yesterday was I have Falls Reservoir that I still need to open up. But I need to get a 2-star bull. If you watched any of the first video, which I wouldn't, I lucked out right off the bat. I spawned up here at the campsite. I spent most of my morning portion up here hunting the Moody Swamp. Right after we spawned into the campsite, shortly after, I had a very low genetics moose bull come in. So we harvested that. Wasn't really what I was looking for, but it was there, needed to get harvested for sure. And we spent some time slowly working this area. I spent a lot of time talking, apparently to no one. And then we came down afterwards, checked out this area. Not so much this pond. We checked it, didn't see anything up there, and came down and did an overlook of this area down here. And what I did find is that there are 2 young males or adult bulls down here. Hopefully one of which, if I sleep till tomorrow and get lucky and find them again, hopefully one of those will be a 2-star and will satisfy my requirement for the other one. Because one of these 2 needs to get harvested anyways. And then we came up in this area just to check the area out. We did an overlook down here, since there is some watering points down there as well, but I believe this herd is the one that's probably up here instead. Yeah, so probably that herd is the one going up the hill right now. So anyway, to kind of briefly go back over some of what I had been talking, we'll fast travel over this campsite. I am a member of the Old Fart Gaming category. I've been gaming for a number of years, just about me. And just decided that this was something that I wanted to do in addition. I wanted to kind of share what I'm doing. I'm not in it for anything at this point other than I enjoy gaming and I enjoy sharing that with other people. My... Oop, what did I miss? Oh, there he is. I think. Whitetail? Yep. I suspect. There probably was somebody in that group that I should have harvested, but that's okay. Oh, he settled down up there. That's not too bad. No, they didn't. Never mind. I was wrong. So, what I was saying is through the years, I've been into a variety of different games. Overall, I spent quite a bit of time, like everybody else, playing Call of Duty. I've got quite a bit of hours into Destiny that I had played before. More recently, I've started moving on to. I've also played quite a bit of Warframe, if anybody's ever tried that before. Probably one of the most impressive free-to-play games I've ever seen. What are you guys doing over there? I didn't do anything. Why did they spook? Or not? I should really see if I can get a low star. I don't know what's going on with that group. That's kind of weird, but that's a big group of elk, and it would be, since I'm here, I might as well see that they're gone. Okay. Like I was saying, so if anybody hadn't seen it before, if Warframe is actually a free-to-play I would say it's similar to some ways better, some ways worse than Destiny as far as the appearance of it. There is a mishmash of critters all over the place. I had white-tailed deer take off up the hill. Apparently I have a mule deer still sitting back over there. And I had a herd of elk that just took off over here. I don't know what's going on. Although I could go that way. What I wanted to do is get to here anyways, so. So I've been through quite a variety of different games. I've more over the recent years gotten into a lot more simulator type games. I've got lots of hours into Farming Simulator that I've played. I started about halfway through the life cycle of Farm Sim 19, and now I've got quite a bit of hours into Farm Sim 22. I've also done Car Mechanic Simulator. I tried for a little while. That was interesting. Most recently, a game called Space Engineers has come over onto to PlayStation. Been available on Xbox and PC for a long time, but has finally come over to PlayStation. So I tried that, and really enjoy that one. That is a very fun game to play. Except the only shortcoming with it is it is extremely sandbox. There's you get to build pretty much whatever you want for ships. And they've got a fairly robust weapon system, but there's very little interaction with any other factions that you would use those on. So there's like one occasional faction that you can run into that will have hostile conflicts. So a little shortcoming there, but otherwise it's a very interesting. That probably will be something that I pick up on and stream in the future, but it is finally took off, but I want these. I have been playing Way of the Hunter for a while. I've got a fair amount of the way through it. I finished the storyline on Nez Perce. I finished the storyline on the new Aurora Shores. Enjoyed that very much. I like Aurora Shores a lot. But I also like Nez Perce. So I'll be a little bit torn between the two of those. I recently decided to try Call of the Wild as well. If you're on PlayStation, you see this anytime soon, before July 7th. My understanding is that there's a Greenhorn pack for Call of the Wild that is, I don't know, probably $6 cheaper than the current price for the base game. So I decided to give it a try. So far, I'm early into it. I don't have nearly as much time into that as I have had in Way of the Hunter, but it's okay. I'm still kind of struggling to find my groove with Call of the Wild so far. There's a little bit of the mechanics that are kind of frustrating and a little harder to deal with. Ooh. Okay. Now, if I remembered that I put my 300 in my first slot now. That is him, right? Hopefully that went okay. Let's see. Ooh, good guess. I had to switch my range over last minute. I didn't even notice that I still had it down at 50 meters for some reason. Maybe I hadn't had enough of my morning coffee yet. And just before I shot, realized that I needed to change that up because that was going to be bad. And I've whiffed enough shots in this game already. Oh, nice. Okay. What did it say? Yep, okay. Perfect. So one of the things with, I think, Way of the Hunter, obviously Way of the Hunter came much later than Call of the Wild, so... Oh, you didn't go far enough. That actually worked out perfect. Might have dropped low and gotten heart shot, I don't know. That was the adult male. That wasn't the one I wanted to take. 33% genetics, though. He probably needed to come out of there. That was probably the right one to take, anyhow. Um, okay. Oh, both lungs. Okay. I thought maybe I had dropped a little bit lower and might have actually just barely. I guess I missed a heart by more than that. I thought he was a little bit more straight on. Figured I might have had heart shot on that one, but that worked. It worked out. Okay. Now we can continue up over this way. Get rid of that. So one of the things that I haven't really been comfortable with, I don't care for the optics. Obviously, Way of the Hunter, I've gotten to the point where I've got much nicer quality optics. Kind of surprised that for as long as... what are the odds that I can get up there? I don't think I can climb this mountain. Oh. I may not have any choice. I don't know if I can go around that way. Um, Call of the Wild has been around for a lot longer than Way of the Hunter has. And it shows a little bit in both. I think I have a badger thing too. That's not what I wanted. And I'm sorry. I get off track. I clearly got distracted by a magnificent female badger that's down here somewhere. But huh, that's probably the elk. Uh, I don't know. It's hard to compare the two of them. So obviously, I think they've upgraded it over time. But obviously, uh, Call of the Wild has been around for a lot longer. It's an older basis for the game. And it shows a little bit. It shows. I don't think it's nice, but I don't think the graphical quality is quite what they have in Way of the Hunter. It's hard to say. I haven't gotten some of the newer maps, so I don't know if they've increased it as time has gone by or if there's any difference with the newer maps that are available. So that is one thing that I think Call of the Wild probably has over Way of the Hunter is that they've got quite a few more maps. I think they're smaller maps. It may not be, but it seems to me that they're probably a smaller map. I'm real, and I'm not going to get up this hill. I don't think I can do it. I don't. Up. No, not happening. Oh, wait, can we come up over here? Not that it matters. I probably would just make it up there only to fall off and injure myself anyway. I'm gonna give it a try. I will. I'm gonna do my best to try and give it a fair shake. Why is she yelling at me? I don't see a male there, so I'm not gonna bother with them. But so far, I'm into it a little ways, but I'm kind of struggling with it a little bit just because I don't find that it has quite what I want in gameplay wise. So tracking, yes, they've added a bloodhound into it, so I took the bloodhound because it came with the pack that I bought. And that works okay. The optics have really bothered me, but then again, like I said, it's early on. I clearly had to progress quite a bit in Way of the Hunter as well before I get to the point where I had binoculars and scopes that I'm happier with. For right now, I'm just not sure. I'm not as comfortable with what Call of the Wild has. Their early starting scopes, the binoculars are okay, and I guess when I think about it, I can't remember if the first binoculars you start with this one have a rangefinder. That one doesn't. Weapon selection seems a lot thinner than I expected it to be with a game that's been out longer and is focused on that, and is focused on continuing to put out materials. So I'm not sure. I yeah, they've sold additional packs, but not a tremendous amount further along than where Way of the Hunter basically started off with weapons. Yes, they clearly have more. And they have a few packs more. They are certainly deeper into the archery than Way of the Hunter has gotten. I think I can get over the top of this hill and come down and shortcut a little bit. So far, Way of the Hunter has only introduced a crossbow, which... Hello? I'm not going after you right now. So I think they've kind of... They're a little thin on what they've got so far as archery. Not a big deal for me. I probably won't... I don't know how much time I will spend doing archery anyway. The crossbow is nice, but it's just not what I consider really getting into archery. How do I know I can do this, right? I'm gonna fall. So what? Ow! I'm not liking this hill. Oh, finally. So, like I said, I will do the best I can to try and give Call of the Wild a fair shake. It's just, I think actually one of the pieces that bothers me the most, and it could be a settings thing, it may be something I find a solution for, but right now, the audio on Call of the Wild is really bothering me because on PlayStation, with my headset on, uh, the audio is not coming from where I expect it to. So that has been a little bit bothersome so far. Uh, it's off by at least 90, if not 180 degrees from where the sounds are appearing in my headset. And in something like a hunting game is no different than a Call of Duty game as far as what you want your audio to be like. It's a critical piece of being able to pay attention to it. But so I may just put together some video time on that, and we'll see how that comes out. I'm just going to continue to put some time in, try and figure it out a little bit more. Hi. This is where I have the hard part. Bears, moose, wolves, not so much. I think you just take wolves when you can get them, but a big part of this game is being able to work on herd management with your elk, your mule deer, your whitetail, and some of the other species on the newer maps. You can work on herd management to improve the quality of the animals that are there, but it's not nearly as clear when you're talking about moose, black bears, these smaller groups where there's only one or two. So like with the herd of elk we started with earlier on, I had the choice of trying to pick out, of looking at and my purpose right now is pretty much just to get this opened up, and then I'm going to go take a nap so I can go back to trying to get my big moose. So like, yeah, with the elk herd earlier, you had the option of looking at it and saying, I can take a look at them, look at their antlers, look at their structure size, their age range, and try and determine which ones are lowest genetics that you want to take out of that herd to allow the herd to progress with the best genetics possible. You can do that with those. With a herd of moose, that can be much more challenging because you may only have a bull and a cow in the herd, or there may just be a couple young females and one bull. And it makes it very hard to balance out the genetics of that herd by picking what is there. Now, if you stay on them, yes, okay, there are opportunities to compare a mature bull with a young bull and hopefully have an idea of which one probably has the better genetics and work on the harvest. It's possible, but often when you're looking at like these fellas, nope, that's badger. These fellas? Yeah, those mule deer. You're going to get a lot more opportunities to pick and choose which ones look like they have poorer genetics and need to be harvested out of or culled out of the herd. Whereas moose, so far, have maybe they're meant to be a much more long-term improvement to the herds over time. I would assume they're just as capable of being able to be improved in genetics, just like deer, everything else is. But I don't know. I'm not sure. And that female is probably, bears are even worse. That sow is probably on her own. She's solo, and I have no idea how to work on managing those. Big difference between Call of the Wild, Way of the Hunter. Bears are here and there in Way of the Hunter. I I have bears all over the place in Call of the Wild. So many bears, running into them at nighttime and in daytime. Certainly much more active than it is in Way of the Hunter, but that's I'm okay with that. That I very rarely see bear when I'm in the woods, so I don't think I should see bear as often as I do even in Way of the Hunter. But obviously it is still a game. The intention is that you have enough balance and something to keep you occupied. You certainly wouldn't want it to be like real life where you could go days worth of playtime and never see an animal in the area that you're hunting. That would not make for an exciting game. And still, okay. But I have enjoyed this. I took a break from Way of the Hunter. We played it early on. One of my stepsons played it with me actually, and we had kind of a good time. We played a little bit of multiplayer, but in the early days, obviously, if anybody remembers, the multiplayer was a little janky early on. Might even see if he'll be willing to hop on at some point and give it a shot again with the multiplayer and see how that pans out. Obviously, you lose a lot of the quest lines. I'm assuming the objectives aren't available. So it's much more sandbox as far as the play at that point. Tracking. I like Where the Hunter's tracking better. I have to admit, I think the Hunter Sense makes a nice difference. If you want a harder time, turn the Hunter Sense off. Just go with that. If you don't, and you want to be able to track, have it on. I have struggled a little bit with Call of the Wild as far as being able to finding animal tracks. It seems like, and maybe it is an early on thing. I'm comparing early game, very little perks in Call of the Wild with much further into the game, well expanded on what my perks are in Way of the Hunter. So I know that that's not necessarily as fair of a comparison. I'm hoping to get further along in there, and we'll see what happens. I just heard somebody, but it didn't pop up. Must be a little bit further away. I don't know if anybody's keeping up on the patch notes. I don't know how other people feel about the whole updates with the new patch 1.23. Apparently they had changed audio up to the point where it could be heard out to 380 meters, I believe. I know they've kind of pulled that back to, I believe the newest patch dropped it down to 330. I have seen a few up in the 300s. I finally got, prior to starting the first stream that I did, I actually finally get to the point of chasing down the last of my Idaho collectibles so that I could have the extra 20% to my audio distance. And I like it so far. I like being able to pick them out further on. Hunting pressure is another difference. I don't think it's as clear on... Oh, it's a hunting stand up here. Huh. What is that doing way up here? Got to be something interesting. I don't think hunting pressure is entirely clear in let analyze you. Let me. I don't think it's entirely clear in either game. I think in some ways Call of the Wild is a little bit too simplified. In that it's you harvest an animal here, this area is considered hunting pressure, and then it rotates. I believe, I'll have to test it a little bit more, but I believe it's about 10, the last 10 areas where you've harvested an animal are considered having hunting pressure. But then again, I've also seen people on videos harvest multiple animals from the same spot when they're chasing down their diamonds and high score rating animals on that game. I don't know, it's just, I wonder if this is like the spot to go for Mountain Elk. Getting a little better on it. I played it for a little while longer last night and started to get a little bit more insight on how I was playing it, figuring out a few more of the controls that were frustrating. I went around for one whole night walking around trying to figure out why my tracking sense had disappeared on Call of the Wild. I was getting very frustrated, figured there must be a bug or a glitch, then ended up spending a half hour searching information on it to find out you need to have your headlamp on at night. Oh, I don't like walking around with my headlamp on. So I used the night vision binos that came with the Modern Weapons pack. That shows me the tracks, but it's very hard to stay on the tracks. And they're not very clear. It's like they've intentionally blurred the night vision optics there. And it's a little frustrating. Yes, I've been to that lake. Oh, that was my bear hunting lake. Okay. Objective completed. I think I have no idea how I still have something closed out. I've got a number of things that I still need to... 4 down there. I do want to get back to hunting diamond drill. I'm pretty sure this is a newer save. I had opened up quite a bit of the diamond drill in the past, and there were a lot of high quality animals down in that area already. So I think up here is probably more of my herd management area. Probably back in here. And places like Diamond Drill is a much better area. It's harder being in the forest some areas, but you've got view areas that you can view from a range, and much larger herds. But let's go ahead, and I think I'm going to follow the same, pretty much the same routine that I had done yesterday. Which was, since I was going for moose, I was able to start around 5 o'clock hunting over feed areas up in the swamp. Towards 9 o'clock, they were moving towards water. And in the particular herd that I was watching, which I believe was probably that herd, they happened to be down in this area when I popped over and was watching them from this hillside. So that worked out really well for me at that time. And the odds are they're not going to be there today or tomorrow when I go back. But these I do know where a feed zone is, so I could try and hunt these, but it's a much broader area. To hunt over, and I haven't seen as many bulls. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to go back to my cabin. We'll sleep till about 4 or 5 o'clock. I may sleep a little bit later this morning just because last time I had concerns with animals coming off of I had concerns with animals coming off the hillside, and that made it a problem with hunting this area because I like to work from the campground, work my way slowly across here and spot most of the swamp. And I ran into yesterday, it was shortly after I came in here, there were still animals coming down off the hillside. And I ran into a herd of moose that happened to be right there. So that was inconvenient. So we'll give that another try today. So unfortunately, the area back over that way starts to border onto the Falls Reservoir area that I still need to unlock. So what I don't want to do is, I believe, I want to say in my first playthrough on this, I had harvested a moose back here, and it had run back this direction, and I was not able to collect it because it was in the area that I didn't have permission to hunt. May not be the case anymore. I don't know if that's changed at all or not, but that's what I remembered, and I don't want to have to deal with that again. So for the most part, that whole back corner back here is remaining untouched by me until I have access. And I believe, I have a feeling that this whole area is probably going to be some of the best moose. Once I can actually unlock it, I suspect this might be an area where I finally get to the point of being able to do a herd management for moose, which I love the moose dioramas, and I think those look really nice. And actually, one of the things I like about Aurora Shores has been the Alaskan moose there obviously are bigger, and they have pretty diverse population of them, so I'm looking forward to getting back onto that, spending some time there as well. Yep, right off the bat. This is my concern. I don't want to end up spooking moose that are still up on the hillside and have not progressed. Look at that, 300 to 320 meters though. I'm getting the improved range on being able to hear them. I think I can actually probably walk a little bit faster here, but I don't want to mess with it too much. And he is more than likely still up in the woods. Be looking through the top foliage where I couldn't see him anyways, so I don't need to rush too much. I'm hoping that he's on his way, dropping down in. It would be really nice if I could get my 2-star right away. I prefer to pick a 2-star that I want to cull out of a herd anyways, but I have been working on that for quite a while. I had actually, the only 2-star moose that I've had so far, I took out before I started this quest line. And I have not, I think I may have passed up one at one point. You're out there. Yep. Think. Get close enough so that I can actually rate you. Oh, young male. Alright, so young male, that's not one I want to harvest at this particular point. I don't know if there are more. Believe when I looked at this yesterday, there was a fairly large herd. I want to say had 2 young females, an adult female, and 2 young bulls. And that was probably one of the biggest herds of moose that I had seen up to this point. Light is not great this morning. This is one of the things I love about being able to hunt this swamp, is that you've got such good visibility out here. It looks so nice. So my concern, you're going to hang it up on the hill, aren't you? You're not going to go down. This is about the area where I just happened to come across a didn't really want to have to do it that early on when I was just getting started, but I had a low health bull. There's a cow further up there as well, but there's a low health bull that just happened to be coming down right on top of me, and he needed to be harvested. He needed to be culled from the herd, and luckily it didn't really seem to mess up the rest of my hunting for it, but it was a little unnerving when I was just getting started. I'm trying to progress a little bit. Made for a nice start right off the bat. Within 10 minutes into the video, I had a moose. Of course, at that time, I also didn't realize that PlayStation has an issue with volume settings for the microphone when you're broadcasting. You have to initially start to broadcast. I didn't realize, and there's not much guidance for it, but I started the broadcast and then had to bring up the quick menu, click on the broadcast button again. That was after spending quite a bit of time trying to figure out how to broadcast in the first place yesterday. But then you have to click on the button again, and then there isn't even a tab. There's a spot at the top of that with a little red broadcasting icon. You have to click on that, and you have to unmute the microphone, which I'm not sure why they chose to have that muted as a default. Pretty sure most people who have microphones know how to mute their microphones if they wish to. So I don't see why that they would have to, by default, mute you from the broadcast. Got time, and I just don't want to. I don't want to rush this one, and I would kind of like to see what his antler spread looks like. I may not necessarily get a view of him. And this could be a problem today. Yesterday I had perfect wind. It was blowing back up out of the swamp and over the hillside. Now my scent is blowing right down over the swamp. If I can, as long as I can stay up here on the hillside, I'll probably be okay. But today normally would be a day where I'm trying to get on this side, and it's much harder to hunt from over here. Get a pretty decent view from either side from up here, but it's not I don't like having to cross over this area right off the bat. That may be what I have to try and do today. Anyway, that one does not look great. Trying to see if that is... I may have to scooch over here just a little bit because I don't think somehow or other it doesn't look like this is a zone that I've examined before. So I'll see if I can sneak just close enough to him to be able to make sure that I've got this. Ha! I do not have it. Okay. Very good. You're following me. It reminds me of years ago when I was working out in the woods and we were surveying a boundary line. Springtime, early winter, I don't remember exactly when it was, but we had starting the day, we were just standing at the truck, sharpening our tools for the day, and headed out to go clear a boundary line. And as we're standing at the truck, I look up, and I'm working with my brother. I look up over his shoulder and I say, "Oh, that surprised me." He turns around and there's a moose that had just popped out of the woods, probably 50, 60 feet away from where we were. Just walked around, saw us there, walked around us, and continued on to where he wanted to go. And then later that day, as we were working our way down the boundary line, I saw what I thought was just an upturned tree stump. And next thing you know, it moved and ended up paralleling us for quite a while as we were working our way across surveying. And it was a little unnerving. It was a medium-sized bull, pretty good-sized set of antlers, and we weren't entirely certain if he just wasn't happy with us being there or not, but he had to have known we were there. We weren't being quiet, and he just kept on paralleling us for a couple 100 yards along the boundary line as we were working along. And then gradually just disappeared. I'm going to try and sneak across to the backside of the swamp, I'm assuming. Yep, wind is still blowing that way. So I'll try and sneak across to the back here. I'm a little concerned. Somebody should be feeding back over that way. I'm afraid I'm going to end up spooking them, but this is where I start seeing pop-ups as I'm moving back and forth and get all excited and find out, nope, it's just geese, or it's just scaup. So my plan's going from here. Yep, like that. Geese, Ross's goose. Is for me, this will be probably more hobby than anything as far as streaming and videos. We'll see how it goes. I see what the interest is. I kind of have a bit of diversity in what I like to play, obviously, from quite a variety between Warframe and Farming Simulator and hunting games. I do tend to play games that I can invest a lot more time in, so I'm not really as big on... You're still making noise up there. I'm not as big on playing a huge variety of... Play a game quick and be done with it. I like something that I can dig my teeth into and play for a while. Get a little bit better at it. I'm definitely not... I do not consider myself a pro at games, but I enjoy it. I want it, and I think it's important to be, especially for anybody who's streaming or gaming, I think it's important to be playing what you enjoy. There's a content creator that I've watched quite a bit, Mr. Sealy P, is almost entirely Farming Simulator. He's done some SnowRunner, he's done some Construction Simulator, a little bit here and there, but almost entirely Farming Simulator. And he's a great, fun, older British fellow to watch. Big bearded guy. And he's just enjoyable to watch play, or he does some great mod reviews. But I see he's often really concerned about people that are critiquing what he's doing, or they don't like that he's headed in a certain direction with doing something in the game. And to me, I feel like it's more important that his content is enjoyable if he's enjoying himself. So I feel like that's really important. You need to be enjoying what you're playing and how you're playing it. What did I just... Huh? Oh, ducks. All right. In order for it to be something that's interesting to watch. Are you guys right here? No. Other side. And I think that's kind of my thought process on it too, and how I think I would proceed from here. Normally, one thing I will try and change up a little bit is hopefully switching. I have a habit of binging on a game and playing it very heavily for a while until I end up getting burnt out on it. So I think one thing I hope to do with this process is getting a little bit more in the habit of play one game for a little while, switch to something different. And we'll see how that works out. I would much rather be able to, and especially right now, I've got several different games that I would enjoy playing. The only downside to that is that you end up losing track of... I love all the ducks, well, the background sound in here. It's one of the nice things about being down here in the swamp. But the downside of flip-flopping games is that I find it very hard to go from something like Space Engineers and the controls and routines on there to... Then I switched to Farming Simulator and I've forgotten what routine my controls are on there. Get back in the habit of that. And then switch over to A Way of the Hunter where, again, different set of controls. And next thing you know, I'm shooting accidentally when I did not mean to. That's not helpful. Or you start running instead of crouching. Alright, let's pop up here and see. If we have anybody out over the swamp. I thought I just heard brush over that way. It's one of the tough parts with the swamp here is that the moose so frequently pop in and out of view. Hey, birdies. Alright, hang on for a sec, I'll be right back. Okay. Let's continue on. We'll see what we can find. If I can get off this without falling. It's one of the things that I did enjoy with Aurora Shores is I'm not sure if it's the wildlife density, um, the openness of that area, the map, but Aurora Shores feels very alive. There's a lot of big game out there. There's a lot of sound. Obviously, the additional range on the audio has added to that as well, but it's made a huge increase in the activity and the life and the things for you to pay attention to. Almost overwhelming at times, but it's very enjoyable as you cross over the map, just being able to see the volume of wildlife around you. It certainly helps keeping your interest as you're moving very slowly. I have found I have to hunt this whole area very slow though, just because moose aren't always vocalizing, which means if I'm walking at a faster pace, it's easier. I think I can work towards the back now, but I have seen the moose up in those tree lines, even though that's pretty close to the boundary of the playable area. So I don't know if somebody come through. It's another thing I'm not sure about. I think that is something that might be better in Call of the Wild. As far as tracks are concerned, I don't know. I mean, obviously they have scat in this game that will get stale, so there is an age to that. I'm not sure about the tracks. I don't know how well if the tracks are a permanent feature just to show you where feeding zones are or where animals move through. But in Call of the Wild, I know for sure, even shortly on, that they are directly tied to animals having moved through and how recently they moved through the area. So like being able to track so if you've shot an animal and you're tracking, you not only have the blood trail, but you also have the tracks, and that's one thing you don't see in this. All you see is the blood trail with the hunter sense. So that makes me wonder whether or not these tracks like these are just a permanent placement. They're permanently there, which is kind of too bad. I like the idea of being able to look at tracks and look at patterns. and know whether or not, okay, yes, this is a used area, but it's not recently used, or I'm coming across tracks that I would be able to say they've been within the last half a day at least, and know that this is a track that you want to follow, as opposed to just a track that will show you where their need areas are. But they haven't been to these need areas today, or knowing that you can cut across certain areas and oh, there we go. Nope. Yep, that's a nice rock right there. Being able to cut tracks and figure out they went to this, like in this game you have frequently used need zones and you have rarely used need zones. Well, it would be nice to be able to say, okay, I know they're coming from their resting area to a feeding zone. And being able to cut tracks and say and determine today they're headed to their rarely used need zone rather than frequently used. Okay, yeah, map boundary. What time are we at? 7:27. I think somewhere over there. Oh, I actually have quite a ways to go around to get to that. And if you're fairly new into Way of the Hunter, get the new binoculars. Huge difference between when you're looking at optics. There's a huge difference in visibility between the higher quality binoculars and the higher quality scopes. They make such a big difference in what you're able to see and how things look. I'm not sure anybody's going to be in the swamp today. There's too many moose herds that are in this area for them not to be, but I think that's the roadway. Yeah, that's the roadway that cuts across, so I want to get up on that little point over there so I get a little bit higher ground visibility. actually still have quite a few zones that I had not identified down here. Not that I don't think it really matters as much in this case, because this is such a big, broad area, and with moose, they just roam across the entire thing either way. So being able to identify specific ones isn't quite as important. You kind of have to keep track of the whole area. And because it's open, you're able to. So that's huge. And if you're coming across this and you're any of the first 3 viewers that watched the first video that had no sound to it at all, or no voice to it at all, I apologize. And if you're preferring that, I apologize. I may not be the one for you. I tend to prefer to chat and commentary as I'm going through this. I enjoy the quiet of the swamp too. I get it. You know, you may be out for a hunting adventure, and prefer to just kind of see the area and see what's going on, rather than listening to somebody talking about everything. But there, yeah, okay. Make sure wind direction still. Yep, okay. Usually for me, it ends up being just like if you go out on the lake with a canoe. Oh, another eating zone. That's good to know. And you decide, I'm going to paddle away from the dock with the wind, or against the wind, so that on the way back, when you're tired, you can just drift back. Well, unfortunately for me, whether it's canoe, kayak, whatever, that always ends up being that when you get as far as you want to go from the boat launch, it always seems to be that the wind is going to change directions so that it's blowing in your face on the way back, and you can barely paddle against it. And that's been the same thing in this game. Normally I would hike my way, try and work my way all the way across the swamp to get to the backside. Only to find that wind direction changed, and now it's blowing back across the swamp. That's very inconvenient. It's not fun. It's annoying. Water sounds. far off the boundary am I? Okay, I could go up that way. Scooch over here onto this little hill. So, it's roughly 100 meters to that point, which means whatever's out there is only 100 meters off the other side of it. I'm going to try and push up that way towards the woods. Hopefully get a little height, stay downwind. Or this could be inconvenient. Where did he cover ground fast? I have a feeling this is the pair of bulls that I saw yesterday. I was kind of hoping that one I was pretty sure was going to become an adult. And I was hoping he was going to be able to pop up to 2-star, but doesn't look like that's the case. They are moving right across though. They started. I first heard them way back over there. And they just hurried right across. Alright, so that's one group I was hoping to see. I think really that was probably the group that I most wanted to be able to check out down here. Yep, and those guys never vocalized at all when they were coming across over there. They just just started after they passed me, so I could easily have been trucking along and spooked them without ever even knowing that they were there. It's a nice group, though. That's one of the larger groups. I thought there were 3 females with it, though. One of them might have been a mature female who's passed away. Still not quite far enough away that I can... I don't want to spook them if I can avoid it, because as far as I can tell, spooking animals is part of... does have an impact on hunting pressure on areas. Now, there are more herds that will pass through here, so... just because those have gone by me doesn't mean I'm free and clear. I'm not spooking more animals. Interesting thing about, they have that one hunting blind, or hunting stand, out here in the swamp. I very rarely have seen the moose in front of that hunting stand. I've almost always seen them traveling around this back section away from it, so I'm not sure how effective that hunting stand actually is back there. I'm assuming there's a reason, but... Of course, now that I've said that, today will be the day, since I'm working around this backside, I will find that there are moose that work their way around the front. Ain't that always the way, though? Hmm. Just not sure how much more time I want to spend on. Now that I've seen that group, and actually that other young bull up on the hill, I know there's more out here. I mean, there's how many different herds? One, two, three, four, five, occasionally six. I don't know about that one. At least five different herds that I know of that use this area to some extent. And normally I don't even bother with this pond back here, but yesterday I came across a pair that was moving through that as well. So I suppose. Oh, no. Oh, uh, hi. You don't have very nice antlers, though. Oh, that would, that explains why it looked so funny. I didn't realize that they were both right there. How far am I from the battery? A little ways. He still has very skinny palms on that one. He's got a decent spread. Generally asymmetrical, so hey, I don't know. He's young, but he could potentially make a decent bull. And they're going to walk right over me, aren't they? Where am I going to hide? Wow. Strange that vocalization notification didn't really line up with where he was. I don't see any other indication. There's another one there, though. I don't know. He could actually. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about him. He could potentially grow up to be a better looking moose. He's got fairly broad spread. He doesn't have the palms of his antlers aren't very broad, but he's got a lot of width between the tines of his horns. So, wait, when did she catch up? Are there more moose moving through than I thought? Hmm. Oh, I think we might have another group with two males and two females. He looks pretty good too. Not even, but pretty good spread. Not bad. Unless he backtracked. I don't think that's the same bull. But I don't remember seeing the cow come through. She was back over here last time I saw her. Hmm. You know, if he gets to be a bigger bull, you know he's not going to stand in one spot for me as long as that one has. Let's see if I can sneak up over here a little bit more and try and get right behind these bushes where I can't see anything. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I do have two cows for sure. Reasonably sure. Yep. Definitely two cows, one adult, one young. And I do have to say that the I give it credit for the age of the age difference of the games, but the animal animations, from what I've seen on this, I think are much better in Way of the Hunter than Call of the Wild so far. The mannerisms and the actions and the movement of the animals, like these moose, just are so much more lifelike. Is that the other cow? Yep. Not sure why she's coming back, but I just wanted to wait for a little bit longer and see if I actually did have two different bulls here. It's possible that the one that I saw was hanging out over here was the same one that I followed across. He may have turned around and gone back in. It should be coming out shortly. I don't think anybody else has crossed over, so she's finally catching up. Alright, is there... I think there's just one bull. I think that was the same bull that I saw crossing over at first. He just must have backtracked a little bit. That's definitely the second one, the one that I saw the second time for sure. He's got a forked tine on his left brow tine and a straight tine on the right side. So that's the same bull for sure. I don't see any indicators of a second bull. Although he doesn't really look like the first one that I saw that was staring at me though either. He looks like he's got a lot more horns than the first one I saw, so I'm still confused. I don't know. What time are we at? 8:49. Kind of wanted to be able to move around the back quickly. I really want to get back to be able to check and keep an eye on the river area and see if I could find that other pair that were back there. She's still a little bit too close for me though. just want to get over 200 away from them just so that I can... She's still not that far away. Hopefully move a little bit faster without spooking them. The geese I'm not afraid of spooking. They can spook all they want. $160. That should be good, right? Sure, I'm not walking up on any others in the back. There we go. How can this be the map boundary when you have hillside right there? That doesn't make any sense. This is probably where I rush it a little bit too much. Because I want to try and see a little bit further over and see whether or not I have the other group coming out of this lake. If I do, I believe there was one more bull in that. And we'll see what comes of it. I think I already have this feeding area, right? Let me, there. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Forgot that lake back here sits in a little bowl. And it's kind of hard to see from anywhere on the backside. Okay. Elk. Not helpful. But when I checked this yesterday morning, there were moose in here at the same time the elk were here. So there's still a chance. I just want to try and check it quickly and then get to my river spot. And if that doesn't pan out, then I'll have to sleep through again and check the swamp again tomorrow, since we've got several bulls out here. There was only one adult so far. I think we may take that mature 1-star male while we're here. Really? You gonna do it like that? Perfect. There actually were two 1-star mature males there. It was a tough call. I think this was the lesser of the two. Kind of odd. It looked like he had longer tines, but fewer points, so I am not as good at judging the elk to see. Perfect spot, double lung. And obviously he dropped right there. Yeah, 55%. It wasn't horrible, but he was still only a 1-star. So we'll sell that one off. And then we progress to a river spot, hopefully. Hopefully that plant pans out. Otherwise, where am I looking? And where is my... One direction's right for that, I think. No, not really. It's not great. because I want to go by. Check out the lake first. Try and keep track of what's ahead of me as much as I can. I'm not perfect at it. I know there are a lot of people that do a much better job than I do at being able to pick out animals. Did I? Couldn't tell if I heard a moose out of range or if it was a buzz flying by my ear. Stupid bush. So there are some, there is at least one herd or two that come down to this lake as well. Oh dear. Well, that didn't help. Where are you, Liebchen? You are down here somewhere? Ah, there we go. Oh. Young male. Young male. That one's about to be an adult, I would say. I don't know. Neither of them look fantastic, but they might not be bad. No, I can't tell for sure. It looks like he's got asymmetricals. His right side is smaller. But then that one doesn't look like he has much, so. I'll leave those two alone for now. think these went very far, so I might be able to check. Get a spot on them at least and see. I think the one I saw was a mature cow, but I didn't really see what the rest of them were. I don't know. Must be a draw or a gully down here between these two hillsides, because distance-wise, they shouldn't be that far. And they're not that close, so maybe. As much as I'd like to be out in the open, I've got to go this way because my scent is blowing right down that way. That's not helpful. Not at all. And now I won't be able to see him. Okay. Well, it says you're right there, but I sure don't see you. There's somebody. Young bull. Okay. She looked like she was staring at me. I don't really like that. Oh, that's your guys' stuff. It'd be really nice if they just gave me a nice 2-star male, mature, that needs to get culled out. But wait, where are you going now? Can't quite make them out. There's a cow and a bull there. Yes, I know you're there. See if this works out. If I can get away with quartering across the wind. Get out here where I have a view down the gully, and hopefully, based on the direction they're going right now, I'll probably find a bunch of cows and a young bull. And nothing I want to harvest right now. But we'll see how that goes. Oh, nope, nope, I know. It says calm, but they're staring at me. Kind of want to take that adult male up, but the young male doesn't look a whole lot better. was it. They fled. They fled. It's not surprising. I was awfully close to them, and they were clearly very cued in on me there. Alright. It's okay. There's not really anything there that I wanted. I probably could have taken the adult male out, but it was a toss-up between him and the young male that was there. And we are at the spot a little bit late, but I probably should have been here a little earlier. There's one. Oh, I don't think that's quite going to cut it. Now I need to get close enough to find out if either of those have become a 2-star without spooking them. Nope. Alright, that one has potential. This is the group that it does appear to be this group that I saw the other day. That one should go, but and I'm probably going to damage genetics by doing this, but that one, this one, if he matures in the next day or two, could be my 2-star. But Do I rush it? Nope. I think we're going for herd integrity. Yeah, this one's got much nicer spread, nice palms. He's a little bit older. See if we can get another broadside. Yeah, that the younger one is definitely not symmetrical, so he's the one that's got to go. Okay. This should have been good as long as I didn't hit shoulder blade. It looked like a good hit, so we'll see how that goes. That was kind of a hard call. I think it's from a herd management standpoint, I think it makes more sense to take that one out. Like I said before, it's hard with moose because they're not as clear. You know? Pretty sure they were on that side. I may have to go walk that shoreline just to check, but my waypoint there. Wait, who are you? think that's the same herd. I don't know. Alright, I need to find... Aha! There we go. Oh, I thought that might have been the case. Okay. He didn't go far. Oh, that was high. That was close. I almost had a bad shot from up there. Yeah, 29. Less than 30% genetics. That one needed to be harvested. And if you look at his rack just was off. Okay. Pretty sure that was this herd, but they've crossed over and gone this way, so I'm not entirely certain. So there might be another herd I could go try and find up through there, or that one down there. What time is it? It is 12:18. Which means my moose should be going towards sleeping zones. It is an awful long hike up there for moose I may not find. Early on, I did like this particular portion of the river area. I kind of like because it does have nice view lanes. Of course, had to spend time down here for the objectives that required ducks and geese. It was kind of, is kind of nice area to hunt as well, and I probably don't spend as much time down here as I should. Just double check that herd up there on the western side, I would assume, may have come down to drink. Of course, they could drink either down here or at the pond, which is a little bit more challenging. Primarily the herd. Oh, what do we got? Mule deer. Hello? Why am I at... That was an absolute miss. Went over the top of his head. I don't know why I was at a 500-meter shot. It could be part of why I was so bad off on the moose when I tried him. Whew. Kind of glad I missed that anyways, I guess. Really? I didn't really want to have to go chasing a mule deer right now, but that was kind of an opportunity where clear 1-star mature male wasn't horrible, but if 1-star mature, I think, yeah, it's just, that is not going to do anything to help genetics, so that one would have been a good one to call out. Now, unfortunately, I think this area, if I'm heading up towards their rest area, this is a little bit harder to hunt than some of this open space that I'm in, so we'll give it a shot. We'll go take a look. I have not been up here in a long time to see what the herds look like on this side. But in some ways, I kind of want to just rest, sleep till morning, and go back out to the swamp and see if any of the bulls that we've spotted out there have matured up into a bigger mature male. I don't know what the time frame is on it. I don't think it's necessarily, you know, one day to the next is each stage, so I would guess that it might take a couple days before they actually hit mature male. It's hard to say. I'm not as proficient in the system. I may have to look into it a little bit more to see what the time frames are for maturity ranges in comparison to in-game days, just to see. I'm going to go out this way a little bit more. Probably what I will end up doing first is spooking a black bear out here. Okay, so their resting area is right up there. Ish. Kinda, sort of that way. Thicker wood, going to be a little bit harder to anticipate them. Oh, that's actually quite a ways up over that way. Okay. Hmm. or bad? I don't know. One o'clock, and we are almost at 1 o'clock. I do also kind of like the animal sounds in Way of the Hunter. Uh, Better in general than the sounds in Call of the Wild. I don't know. There's just something about the sounds in Call of the Wild that seems, one, the directional piece is off for me. I don't know if that may be a setting that I have to look into. But also the sound, black-tailed deer. It might be accurate. I've never hunted black-tailed deer, so yeah, I thought you were out. I heard you were out there somewhere. Yeah, so if these moose are not coming up to use this resting area, I'm not sure how much I want to chase them. They should be coming off of water. Uh, sort of. So I'm not sure if this herd has gone way back up in here. I just don't know if I want to go chase them up the mountainside. And there's already a bear up in that area that I will probably end up spooking, so. Yeah, I think we'll go to the campsite, give it another day, and hope that somebody has matured. This pair, obviously. This is a very hard one to hunt because they've got water up here or down there, so it's very hard to keep track of them. These sort of the same thing, but it's a little bit easier to kind of track those because I've got a reason to hunt this area of the river already anyways. I don't believe there's really much else. Pretty much it. Moose are very much concentrated down there. They're not up in these highlands. I just need to get a pattern going with a group that are in an area that we can. And I have a feeling that, like I said, I think this is probably the prime habitat. This is where I'll actually start seeing. So I'm not sure how much time I want to concentrate on grooming the herds down here, when I suspect I'm going to see a lot more 3-star, 4-star moose herds up in this area. It's kind of partially what I want to get to. So we'll go up here, sleep through the night again. Probably go till 6 o'clock this time, just so I'm not could be a mistake. We'll see. I just need a 2-star. That's it. And I'm not even seeing any mature moose at this time. It's just seeing mostly young and barely seeing any adult moose. And even those adult moose are still mostly showing up as 1-stars right now. So hopefully I'm seeing plenty of moose. There's a lot of them out there. It's just going to be a matter of getting to the point where I have a quality moose, a reasonable quality moose that's big enough, old enough to be the one I need. And yep, our wind is going the same way again today. It's not helpful. Make sure I'm not going to run anything over right off the bat, and I'll try and push. Yep, I'll try and push right over to the back of the swamp again. I do have that one bull back here, but he was young. I doubt very much he's going to be anything more than a 1-star today. Alright. Fingers crossed. I think I can do this. Saying different shades of brown, thinking, oh no, that's the one. This process of trying to complete this one objective to open up that zone has actually been going on for quite a while before I even started streaming, so I'm very eager to have it done. And get to the point where I actually have access to that zone. Ooh. Frame drop. I don't run into that very often. Usually it's reasonably stable. That's one of the few times that I've really seen a lot of drag. I wonder if it's the light and shadows. Alright. Go away, birds. I'm hunting bigger. I see a moose. Gotta get further to the back, though. Oh, that's almost as far back as I can go. I just want to get my scent downwind of them. And it would be nice, too, to have a spot where I can get up high enough to actually see them, but... Alright, try not to rush this too much. I'm probably in the spot where I can let them come to me a little bit. Maybe. I don't think I need to go chasing all the herds out here anyways. This set of 4 is pretty much the best opportunity. At least in this morning hunt, I think the herd of 4 is probably the best chance at getting a 2-star. I hate to take a chance of just taking what I can get and damaging the genetics out here, but I suspect that I'm going to be more focused on what is it, Falls Reservoir for moose after this anyways. I'm not entirely certain I've harvested a 5-star anything yet. But I really don't have the time in that I'm sure a lot of people do. Okay, you guys are... around the 300 range. I don't believe I can get away with trying to get to that. Maybe I could risk trying to get to that high point over there. I'm not sure. I still keep on finding more need zones every time I come through here. Clearly, I did not do a good job of clearing those out. Well, that's not a good sign. They're moving that way, so I think I can get away with this now. Yep, both just adult males, 1 star. Hmm. And I should be looking at feeding areas right now. Yeah, feeding going towards water. So I have a feeling I'm going to go... Oh, that's a young male comb. Okay. That's interesting. So I would say it takes a couple days for these moose to mature. Wind direction's bad, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I think I'll just head over to that other campsite and I'll try and work this area this morning just because I'd like to see these guys down here when they're down there for water. Hopefully I can get a spot on those. Maybe I'll find these. I'm not sure. We'll see. And that herd, I'm not sure where they're going for water. I have not seen a water spot for them yet. Maybe there's a brook back here that they're going to. I'm not sure. But let's go try this. I have to check a different herd, and we'll see what they're actually up to. Okay, I'm going the right way, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's the pond. I could miss somebody coming down here for water because I'm early here, and I'll probably be halfway across the river by the time anything would show up here for water. But the river is primarily what I want to try and check out for that other herd. And I think these guys should be coming from food to either water there or here. So I'll either come across them on my way down to the river or find them down at that water spot. So I shouldn't miss too much. Ooh, 3-star duck. Somewhere in there. Okay, let's see if which way is I'm gonna have to cut right. That wind direction is horrible again. Although there it doesn't look so bad. Yeah, maybe I'm not that bad off. Could be okay. So if anybody has been watches this or listens, I am absolutely open to if anybody has any comments, suggestions, any ideas of things that they would like to see, if they have any insight on any of the games that I've mentioned or interest in what they would like to see, I'm open to trying. I probably will stick with playing. I think it's important to play what I find fun. If I'm just playing something because somebody asked for it and it's not something I'm interested in, I don't feel like that creates good content anyways. So, but I'm absolutely open. am at the stage where if people are leaving comments, it's not gonna. It's pretty easy for me to be able to review comments and reply. So I'm absolutely open to any input that anybody has, good, bad, or indifferent. License. Must be wind blowing through the trees. Other than, obviously, if everybody's recommending I should play PC games, that's not going to work for me right now. I could, but I don't see any sense in buying a PC. There are a lot of opportunities and advantages, just like there is with Xbox, but PS5 is what I've had, and it's what I'm comfortable with, and my life doesn't revolve around gaming at this point, so I can't justify the idea of having multiple platforms to play on. Okay. And of course, yeah, right downwind. Perfect. Of course I would come across moose in that direction. Why not? Young bull. Okay. So I don't think I'm gonna really spend too much time spotting these guys anyway. Two young bulls? It might have been the ones that oh, hello. Who's this over here? Why are you guys following me? Mature cow, I think? Yeah. Yep, mature female. Okay. And there's a young female over there. Alright, I want to try and get away from those guys because they're gonna spook. They're already getting close enough where they're probably gonna spook just from the sound. I'm surprised they haven't spooked based on scent yet. Now that might be one of the groups I was trying to get to the point of being able to see. these guys are still following me. Hopefully far enough away they can't hear me now. Oh my god, the moving through the bushes sounds on Call of the Wild. Crazy loud. It's one thing, I get it. Okay, they're showing their images of the hunters that they show are moving through the bushes and stuff wearing full Gore-Tex gear, which, yes, is loud going through bushes, or can be. But at the same time, actual hunters would also take that into consideration. A lot of times in where you're going to path and what types of clothing you wear, Gore-Tex is going to be very loud on the bushes. But a wool jacket isn't nearly as loud. So if you wear softer clothing, if you're trying to be stealthy, you can wear scent lock clothing. You can wear clothing that would be more quiet moving through the bushes. And they don't really have any options for being able to do that in there. They just have really, really loud every time you try and move through the bushes. And that's inconvenient. It's not... with as closed in as it feels, a lot of times you're right on top of animals, and it's just not... it's not very fun trying to move through quickly enough to be able to stay up with animals that are moving ahead of you, but not so fast that you're spooking them. When you can only see 50 meters ahead of you, and you're spooking them 120 meters ahead, that's just not... it doesn't work. And... where... hi. You guys out in the field too? Hopefully these moose aren't moving right towards me. I think they're right down over that way. Oh, dang it. There he is. Not a big deal. 1 star. I can't quite see age on him, but... young male. Okay. So get down here and see where we can start overlooking the river. It is 8 o'clock. Not sure where that bear was. I could hear a bear down here. I'm assuming he was on the other side of the river, but... I don't see a bear. Where did Yogi go? Interesting. I'd really like to see that the other bull from the pair that I shot up there earlier. I just don't know that he would have gone too mature yet, and I don't really want to overhunt. Okay, so you're down there somewhere. It's female. In the bushes. And I'm going to get pinned in between the bear and these moose that I've already spooked up here. So what I'm trying to spot now is going to be either of these two water zones. Still a little ways away from, it's only 8 o'clock, so they're still a little ways away from coming down to those water spots, but never see the females with cubs. Be another nice addition. Maybe they're concerned about players being upset if they're shooting a deer fawn in spots that looks like Bambi, or take out a sow mother who's got cubs with her. These guys are coming back this way. I think they're trying to come down to their water zone. got to scent me anytime now. She should. Yeah, my scent's blowing right over the river, so... Okay, somebody explain to me this. Why do we have wild ducks? Are they all wild? Do we have domesticated ducks in the game? I don't get it. I'm assuming that's just meant to generically cover like mallards, black ducks, canvasbacks. We do have scotters in the new expansion on Aurora Shore. Which, again, scotters are still ducks. And they're wild ducks. They just happen to be sea ducks. It may make modeling a little challenging, but I think wood ducks would have been really nice on dioramas for the lodge. Black ducks, probably not quite as interesting to see. Not sure what these guys are doing up here in the trees, but... Go hop out on the island. I'm going to end up having to name this video Starry Palms Empty Hands, because I have a feeling I'm going to end this empty-handed once again in trying to get my 2-star moose. Oh, another bear. Oh, that's a male. There's the little treehouse from the storyline. Spoilers in case you haven't played the storyline. Which I definitely encourage doing. You're certainly able to make progress and cover quite a bit of the map. Or uncover quite a bit of the map by going through the storyline, and it's not bad. I mean, it's a little bit of entertainment, gives you goals, but then again, if you're more into just trying to get through the hunting part, but I mean, it helps get you to the point where you're able to unlock all the different zones. Okay. Ooh. That wasn't you up there, right? Nope. Somebody is over here just outside of 300. That's got to be my bear. One star male. So does anybody know? What is that? Yeah, my hunter sense on. Oh, it was her. Does anybody know? There's no herd management with bears. Do you just take them out and assume that they're going to be replaced by a higher level bear? And there's Moose. Alright. Another young male, 1 star. What does he look like? He looked pretty big for a young bull. Oop, what do we got there? Ah. Sure, male. It's a 1 star. Oh, that was a bad shot. Somewhere right over there was for a shot. First shot should have been good, I believe. Well, looks like I'm still not going to get the ones that I want. There it is. What? No, 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 no. My first shot should have been a good shot. I don't quite... That might have been my hit, I guess. Really kind of upset with that shot. That should have been... unless he was quartered a little bit more, or... No, that's him. He's doing fine. All right. Wait, how far? $150-ish. Come on, go down. He did. Okay. Whew. I know it's a game, but I still hate having a wounded animal out there that hasn't been finished off. So I was going to be really upset if I had another one. Ooh. What shot was that? Oh, I wonder if that was my first shot. No wonder why. Okay. So I should have been further forward on it, and that was the first shot. That's why it wasn't a lethal shot. Shot number 2. Artery in right lung. It was still high. Ooh, and shot 3, that running shot was horrible, but I wanted to make sure he was down. Yep, that was pretty terrible overall. I don't understand. How is he only a 1-star, though? Yep, 46% genetics. So, he needed to be culled, but certainly looks better than that. And I don't need money at the moment, so I think maybe for comparison later on, I think I will still keep him as taxidermy. All right. Well, yep, I thought there was a young bull with that herd. Good. That worked out okay. I don't know if he's going to be any better, but I'll leave it at that. And for now, I don't think moose will go up on that. Huh, what do you know? Moose will go over that. All right. Right. What happened? Oh, I apparently need a lot more money in order to put him up there. Okay. Well, I think that's where he will end up going for now. once I get money built back up again. And I can't remember, do I have anywhere? Yep, almost could go there. I need to start collecting more trophies. I just need to get some that would make trophies. All right. Well, next time around, I'm going to have to, or maybe in between, I'll have to work on building up some income, which if I can get my moose, I actually will get something for that. Because I'll get another $1,000 just for completing that one. And hopefully, that gets me to the point I need to be. But thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Anybody, if you have any comments or points of interest, feel free to leave it in the comments and I will get back to you. And I will be not sure if I'm going to do Way of the Hunter again this week. I may. I was waiting for a certain map to come out on Farming Simulator. I may work on putting one of those out. I also was thinking about doing either just a video or a live stream on Call of the Wild, and we'll see how that goes. But thanks for watching. Take care.